folks. Another episode of Karen's Kids Podcast, episode number 25. Vente Cinco for all the Latino people out there. Woo woo! We got a packed house. I'm always with my homie Jose over here, his son Adrian. We got a special guest today. Super special. Homie from the Sandbox. Adam. Charles Gergen.
A man of many names.
A man of many names. Okay, I want to go straight up. Cheers to
yes.
this mezcal. This guy's got a paper plane. High energy right now. Super excited everyone to be up in here. I want to start off by giving this guy here a compliment. He doesn't even know I'm about to say this.
Uh-oh.
So,
Bring it.
In high school, right? This is where me and Anna become friends, right? My freshman year of high school. We might have seen each other, known each other a little bit before that, but I would say our friendship solidified freshman year of high school, right? So in high school, there's always groups of people, right? There's like, you got the popular kids, you got the nerds, you got the athletes, you got all those kind of groups.
Get the bruisers, the gangs, the fucking
druggies,
all the druggies, everybody.
You got the thoughts.
Yeah.
So.
Is that how you used to call them back then?
Actually, what did we call them?
That was not a thing.
At one point, so my generation, it was cha-chas.
Like skeezers.
That might have been actually. I don't know, man. Now I'm thinking too. That's like way too far back.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
what it seems like. Shit.
But in high school, so this guy right here, he was the type of dude that everyone wanted to be friends with.
Okay.
You ever know those people where they come in and everyone's like, hey, they're always inviting you to parties. They want to know what you're doing. That was this
making
kid.
Me blush already.
No. So from afar, I always admired that. Actually, like honestly, he was the type of person who like people wanted to always come. He was always the dude who always knew where the party was at for sure. Right.
This is accurate.
So I'll also say this. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier, because you know how when you drink, when you're first starting to drink, especially in high school. It's like a learned thing. You have to learn it. It's like you've never done it before, so you don't know how to like.
Yeah, I know that very well.
You like act, and you've never been in a public situation where you're drunk before, you know.
Right.
And I would say I modeled most of my high school behavior off you.
Oh wow.
For real. So like, because I'm like, oh, this kid, like everyone likes him. He's the energy. He's like the life of the party. So I always. From afar, admired that about you.
Well, cheers to that.
Well, everybody, welcome to Dino's high school crush.
Hey, I know. Hey, listen. He's jerking me off on this table right now.
Dude, you want to know something crazy right now? I was coming into this, and I was thinking just some things I was going to talk about, and it's crazy. I was legitimately thinking about when we first met, and so, hey, you're right. Our friendship definitely solidified when in high school, no doubt, and But I was thinking too, I'm like, when we first met, and this is when we were even younger, obviously, dude, this motherfucker used to be a skater. I don't even think you remember this.
I do. At St. Mary's.
He was a skater.
He was a fucking skater, bro. Straight up, closing. Like he was part. He was that, dude.
Hey,
right?
don't come at me.
And it's crazy stuff. I knew like just from mutual friends that he skated with. We actually crossed paths that way, and that's I don't even know if he remembers this, but that's how
through Paul Taylor.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
I do remember
it's
that time.
crazy,
You were on your bike.
man. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, exactly. So
I had no idea.
Yeah, we've known each other for quite some time, man. It's crazy. It's family for sure, no doubt.
Awesome, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, so I know none of us watch the news, or probably little, but we definitely know about this whole Russia-Ukraine thing, right? Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I have a point, but I want you to breathe first.
No, not really.
Okay, so
It's a very generic question. I mean, like.
Okay, I should say, do you think that? Thank you.
Or broad, rather. It's very broad.
Do you think that we're heading towards nuclear warfare?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say no. You know how I know we're not gonna?
Oh, please.
I'll put this on fact that there's not gonna be a nuclear war because there's only one Earth to live on. And no matter what happens, no matter if nuclear war starts to actually happen, the billionaires need somewhere to live. And even if they have silos and even if they have bunkers, you can't ruin the Earth. It's going to ruin the Earth. Like, it's going to be uninhabitable. So I think there's a big fear. There's a reason why it's in the news heavy, right? Because like we could bomb Yemen and all these different things. That's not covered on the news. Half the Iraq shit was never covered on the news. This is purposely covered on the news because there's a narrative they're trying to paint, 100%. And Putin, I mean, he answers to somebody. It's some shadow. If you want to go conspiracy, you want to go at the very, very top. The bankers, whoever's like the Rothschilds are above Putin.
Sure,
You know what I'm
whoever made
saying?
him.
So they all have to live on this earth.
Yes.
They can't let nuclear war actually happen.
Can't push
so
back.
just me thinking that way, I'm like, we're not. I know for a fact we're not going to go to drop bombs.
I think you're crazy for thinking that, but please, you first, my friend.
Absolutely. I'm going to second that. Yeah, I think you're crazy because you're discounting people who are narcissists. You're discounting the psychopaths. You're discounting all the people that don't have rational thought.
Yeah, but he can't do anything single-handedly. He has to go through like 3 levels of like people before he can press a button.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly how Russia works. I don't know how you got the inside scoop, but I'm just know more.
I'm just thinking of like, well, the billionaires have to live somewhere. They're not going to let it actually happen.
What do you think, Adam?
I mean, I was going to say, so I mean, well, first off, to also, a step further from what you were saying, unfortunately, power is something that is just so easily abusive, and some people that attain that power, someone like Putin or fucking the guy, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name, North Korea, like they're all
Kim Jong-il.
Yeah, Jong-il, thank you. I mean, the thing is, I mean, we've been holding the peace for so long, but I'm not gonna lie when I say I'm terrified. If you push them way too far, I mean, dude, shit's gonna pop off, and they're not afraid to fucking push that trigger. I pull that trigger, whatever. I really don't think so at all, man. They've been keeping the peace for some time, but I don't know, man. It's getting crazy out there, but I don't understand what you mean about being uninhabitable or not being able to live somewhere. Like the rich need to live somewhere. Just because there's gonna be nuclear war doesn't mean the rich can't go somewhere to live.
Well, yeah, it kind of does, because if one person throws a nuke, then all the other countries start throwing nukes.
Okay,
you're gonna leave the wherever those nukes land. That land is decimated for thousands of years. So they can't just start. You're gonna fuck up the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? It just like, yeah, we did it to drop in Japan, right?
Yeah, but exactly.
Right, and I think that land's barely coming around now. My point is like, if we just start launching them, it's like, I think even if you live in silos and shit, your quality of life, like you're gonna have to be stuck in this thing for years and the rest of your days. You know what I'm saying?
But it doesn't necessarily have to go to the extent of multiple nuclear wars. I mean, a nuclear warfare could just be one or two. I mean, once someone pulls the trigger on a nuclear weapon, I mean, that's nuclear warfare. It doesn't have to be 10 nuclear bombs going off. So to your point, for it to be uninhabitable, it's not like there's necessarily going to be that many nukes where the world's going to be uninhabitable. And also, I want to say, history repeats itself. So, I mean, we already pulled the trigger. We were the ones that pulled that trigger a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could disagree that it may not happen again, because it definitely could. And you're so convinced that it's never going to happen again. I think I'm sorry to say.
I like it. It's okay. I appreciate the pushback. But that was my line of thinking. I just thought that, like, if we launched one, that doesn't mean nobody's just going to launch one.
Right. No,
right.
For sure.
So it's like, I think they're going to be bounced around. And I think I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know,
is that
man.
where the aliens come in? And
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like at some point, right? Because every time they talk about some type of nuclear thing or some nuclear power plant disaster or whatever's happening, they always talk about there's some type of like outside alien thing that comes around, right? Don't they say that?
No, there has been nukes shut off by flying objects to shut the power off. These are like known things that or I forgot what base. It's probably in Nevada somewhere or something. One of those bases, a UFO was hovering over it and shut down all the electronics.
Has that ever happened? Adrian, you want to look that up?
Yeah, look that up.
Look that up.
UFO shutting down.
I do know that, was it Commander Fravor? Mm-hmm. His components on his whatever he was flying, his military airplane, whatever was out there that he was chasing was messing with his components.
Right. I would imagine, for sure. I would imagine anything that can make it over here could do all those things.
So I'm actually curious to see, not that I would want to necessarily, but see what our missile defense system is like. To be honest with you, I'm almost.
Oh, they'll never show
not that
us.
I want to. No, I know, but I'm saying not that I want to see an attack or nuclear warfare. But
yeah.
I'm just kind of curious, because back then they didn't have the technology nor the weaponry like they do now to shoot that shit out the air. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious.
I think that we have laser like movie, like Star Trek type, pew pew type laser shit.
That's the thing. I'm really
I almost feel like Hollywood is that thing that they put out like this idea, like 50 years before we actually come up with it,
Right.
Or it might be that
they got wind of
feed
it.
They like NASA or whoever all these corporations are that build all these weapons. Like
but
what are they
don't-
called? They feed it to the Hollywood and somehow
Lockhart,
Yeah,
Lockheed,
yeah.
Lockheed.
Lockheed Martin.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, I feel like these movies, I feel like they mirror shit. I feel like where are they getting the idea from?
Yeah.
It's like if they even, especially
It's
if
one
they
or
know-
the other. They either get the idea from NASA or NASA gets the idea from the movies.
Right.
Or I'm not NASA. I'm sorry.
Or
these corporations, right?
or they see it in a movie, like, let's see if we can actually make that.
Exactly.
Well, I mean,
Well,
if you think about
Right,
this,
like,
like you could take a
beam me up,
I never
Scotty.
thought about it like that, to be honest with you, because I mean, obviously, movies are fabricated to a sense, no doubt.
Right.
And my original thought would have been that I would assume that the movies would take an idea from NASA or whatever, and then obviously fabricate it or exaggerate it or whatever. But now that you put it that way, that's interesting as hell to me.
I feel it's got to go both ways.
I never thought about it from that mindset. That's actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
I guarantee they have shit that we would think is straight up magic.
Oh, that's why I'm
I
saying.
guarantee you some of the UFOs we see in the sky are drones that we made that you can't have a man in there because it can do all these different things. Like I seen it on YouTube, a little drone that goes from 0 to 200 in like a second.
Yeah, that's like not
It
even
goes,
possible.
it literally like it fucks with your eyes. It goes so fast. You
Yeah.
almost think it's fake. And it's like they showed that like some civilian has that on YouTube. Let alone what a fucking military application for something like that
with a
could
limited.
Well, your body really couldn't handle
Right,
something
the
going-
G-forces, right.
Exactly right. You couldn't handle going something that quick
And
that
this
fast.
is where LAMDA comes in.
Have you heard about that?
Nah.
Okay, so apparently Google has been working on AI for a long time.
Sure, of
right?
course,
And
yeah.
so now there's been a person who studied it, this dude named Blake Lemoine, right? He's been studying this for 6 months, and he claims this thing has become sentient, become aware of itself.
No.
Okay, exactly. I mean that should be your first inclination to think that way, but this guy's completely convinced. So he's literally gone on. You know who Duncan Trussell is? He's one of Rogan's like homies.
I was gonna say it rings a bell. That's where I saw the name or referenced it or what have you. Yeah.
He has a podcast, and he had this guy on it, and the guy explained that this guy's job, Blake's job, was to find biases within the programming, like if it favored something more or whatever. And he said there's supposed to be some biases. I forgot how he explained it. I only watched the video once.
Yeah.
But he claims LAMDA, which it's an acronym. It claims that it's aware now. I called bullshit. And
So basically, it's
Yeah.
a chat bot,
It's a
right?
chat bot, there you
That uses other chat bots, and at this point now it's so well incorporated that it's now using other chat bots. And then he says that there are chat bots that know that they're chat bots, and then there are chat bots that use other chat bots, but this chat bot uses all the chat bots
Yeah.
and knows that there's other chat bots that he can access.
I have heard of this, and I just didn't realize that it was referred to as LAMDA. But I remember hearing something about this, and yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy as fuck for sure.
But I don't think it's real.
I don't-
And apparently, this thing hired a lawyer to fight for rights. It's looking for
oh my
rights.
gosh, I have heard of this actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my thing was like, dude, if this thing was like on the internet, why would it need to hire a lawyer? It could be its own lawyer. It would know all the legal jargon there's ever been printed ever.
Great point, man. Honestly.
And it started asking for rights. He wants to be. He likes working for Google. We keep saying he for lack of whatever.
He or she.
Yeah, likes to work at Google, but it wants to be respected and told. Doesn't want to just be used for information or something.
Yeah, it wants to be. It wants you to ask it for permission to do certain programming or changes into its ability to process.
And basically, I said, this thing has every human sentence ever written, period. And every word, and it could probably arrange the words.
And now it's arranging words to its own ideas.
Right. And so, yeah. And
the question was, like, what does it mean to actually be alive? And so I started looking into it a little deeper, and I started looking into Blake Lemoine. He's kind of a laughing stock a little bit.
Yeah, and I got that right away. I called bullshit on this dude. He's like, so me and my partner, I'm polyamorous. He went through like that whole thing. It's like, oh,
Yeah, Dino smelled bullshit right away.
As soon as he said
and
that.
I was like, well, yeah, but he might be polyamorous, but why? I just couldn't figure out why he would say that.
Yeah, like,
you know, and I was like,
do you
well,
have to
but I
add
don't want to
that in?
discount him right away, you know,
Yeah.
because I was like, is he what does Google do? I just didn't know, but now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, so here's what I'm thinking now, based on the things that I've been seeing. It's almost like every corporation knows that it's going to start using at some point in the next couple of years. It's going to start using artificial intelligence instead of like actual human bodies for doing the work.
Right.
And now these corporations are like, let's give these robots rights so that the people don't uprise and be like, hey, you're having a robot steal our jobs. And then if you give the robots rights, they're like, well, they have rights to be here, to do this, to take your job. And, you know, so now it's like, it's this whole thing where I was like, you motherfuckers, you got me.
Yeah, that's where you kind of lose me, though. You know, it's just, I don't know. It's so out there where it's, with technology and everything like that, is it really that out there? I mean, is it really not possible for something like that could happen? That's where, we've come so far in such a short amount of time that I almost think, it's the inevitable. I think at some point, I hate to say this, but the Terminator, that machines are going to take over the world.
I was right there,
do you
brother.
think that?
Yes,
okay.
I do. I think that at some point in time, technology, think about it, dude. Think about that in how short of amount of time, how in our generation alone, our existence, where technology has come from, when we were at the forefront of all this shit, right? When we were younger, it was the beginning of the internet. Think about AOL and the fucking dial-up. Thank you. And to where we're at now, where I'm fucking furious if my Wi-Fi's not connecting properly. What the fuck? And I'm going nuts. It's like we become so prone to technology now and so reliant on it.
That's for sure.
That if it's, who's to say that something like that can't happen? Anyways. Not to say that I believe in that specifically, but I 100% do believe that in some point in time, maybe not in our day, but that shit's going to happen. No question.
Yeah, it's definitely not alive. Because we were going back and forth, like, what does it mean to be alive? And it's like, if you think about our body, like we have a heart that communicates with certain parts of our body. We have a stomach that also we know that communicates. We have a liver. We have kidneys. They all communicate with each other.
Yeah, the whole
and
body.
You could make the argument that computers also have different systems inside of them that also do kind of that same type of communication, right? But apart from it having these communication things, like we actually have like other living organisms that are inside of us that do main functions, right? That LAMDA does not have.
Adrian, did you find that thing?
UFO, or from thesun.com, UFO allegedly shuts down 10 nuclear missiles in a bizarre incident at U.S. military base.
Boom.
And the global phenomena may have been triggered by the first atomic blast in the 1940s, it claims.
I think, that's when they say that we started getting really visited as soon as we dropped the first bomb.
Really?
And it's probably because these somehow. Go ahead, you guys.
One more thing. From former nuclear director, I think it was a simple show. They wanted to shine a light on our nuclear weapons and just send us a message.
Right.
Our nuclear captain, Robert Salas.
Right.
Wow, it's crazy.
Letting you know, hey, you stupid, dumb monkeys.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
That's I think
it was like Daddy slapped us in the wrist. Stop it. Beat your ass.
Right.
I feel like as smart as we think we are, we're still dumb monkeys.
Oh,
because we still go to war.
Dude.
We still fucking hate each other for some reason.
Yeah. As long as we still have this fucking jealousy, that is so stupid. You know what I mean?
I don't know. It's frustrating actually. Not that I'm some pacifist by any fucking means, because I'm not. But it really upsets me sometimes. I feel like that a lot of. I'm going off a completely different page.
Do it.
But I just feel like that a lot of altercations are really easily manageable or very much to come to some type of agreement or peace.
Right.
It's just really
right.
I don't know. It just comes to a point where people are maybe they're too hard headed or, I don't know.
That totally reminds me of the Snickers commercial. Where it's like at the end of the commercial they show you that it's a guy, but he was like a nagging girlfriend,
right?
And
the Steve Buscemi one was the best. He's like Marsha. He's like you're not yourself when you're hungry.
That's hilarious. Anyways, lots of times it's shit like that.
what I was gonna say, fuck, I forgot it. But back to the AI thing. Fuck, what was I gonna say?
They can.
It's my fault. I
Daddy
got us off
slaps the
topic
wrist.
here.
No. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people have fear of technology, like, oh, they're gonna be sentient, they're gonna kill all the humans.
Right.
But we are using our dumb monkey brain to come to that conclusion. Also, where does the fear stem from? There's zero evidence that will actually happen other than movies. Other than taught fear, you were taught the fear of technology because we have no reference. If anything, we all say the same thing. Technology is pretty fucking great. You can go back and forth. You think social media is that great. I mean, some people think it's great. Some people think it's evil. But all of our point of reference of technology being evil and killing humans is via movie. That's literally the only place.
Not necessarily, man. Elon Musk was on fucking Rogan's podcast and literally said that one day.
Okay,
thinks
but
that,
where?
But that's a liable source.
Yeah, but where's he even getting that point of reference from? There's
He's
no
one of the- he's
but there's
one of
no
those-
example to say, yeah, this thing.
No, there is, bro.
He's
No,
one
there's
of the
not.
most
There's
intelligent
definitely-
motherfuckers on this planet, dude. What do you mean? Like that's a
There's no
credible source. If
there's
one.
no technology that has become sentient and then has tried to
I'm
kill a
not
human.
saying that, but I mean, hold on. I think maybe I'm missing your point here. But are you saying that it's never going to happen? But
No. All I'm saying is like for us to fear it is kind of irrational because
No
we have no
way.
reference.
no.
Where?
okay, so-
Technology's only helped us. Why would we think it would kill? That's
Okay.
us using our perception. This thing's not going to have our perception.
But what about the people that didn't help? So, I mean, I think you're looking at it in one way, but here, let me give you this scenario, right? And I'm just being devil's advocate. What about like the people who used to sew clothes by hand, right? Before the sewing machine came out, their livelihood was hurt.
Sure.
So if you extrapolate that and you think about technology and what it could actually do to us, if we're like, I don't know, there's this paperclip scenario. Look that up, Adrian. It's some type of like if I forget what it was, but anyways, it's where AI is it creates paper clips and it will do anything possible to continue making paper clips, and at some point it like I don't know starts killing off human beings just to make paper clips, whatever. Anyways. But no, I mean, you have to think about it that way. So, some things actually cancel some other things out. And when you're talking about this type of technology that has changed so fast, so like...
But why would you assume that it's going to harm people? Why couldn't your first thought be, this is going to be the greatest thing ever?
Because it always harms people.
At some point in time, someone does something where it does harm somebody.
Look at
Unfortunately,
the technology
it's
of
the inevitable.
the atom bomb.
Exactly.
That
Nuclear-
technology hurt people.
Yes.
That was humans doing that. Human did it.
Okay,
Yeah, but the
here-
human
here,
brain.
I'm gonna also play devil's advocate right now. Imagine somebody, you say that they're monkey brains. First of all, the people that are doing that shit don't have fucking monkey brains. They're the smartest people on this earth. For one. For two, what if it gets in the wrong motherfucker's hands? What if someone has someone that has the ability to create AI or whatever the fucking case may be? It's somebody who actually is like, you know what? I'm gonna play this part. I'm gonna be the mole.
Yeah, but
play a part for a little bit, and then all of a sudden he's gonna fucking flip the script and then do that shit where he programs it to just kill the world.
I hear you.
Or take over
I hear
shit.
you, and you just made my point. Program it. He's gonna program it. If it's a self-awareness, it just woke up.
He's gonna give the AI the ability to do what I mean. Like, I mean, at some point in time, isn't that kind of what we're talking about here? The AI is gonna get so intelligent at a point where it just takes things over.
Yeah,
Right?
so like
Isn't that
right
where this is all
now
stemming
we're
from?
teaching technology what to think.
Right.
At some point, it's going to start thinking on its own.
Right. Exactly.
So we did it though. At the end of the day,
No, but my point is, if this thing is able to make its own assumptions and its own ideas and its own actions, how we process things is our monkey brain. That's what I mean by it. We would take over a country and kill all the kids and fucking rape and pillage, right? That's our monkey brains doing that. If this thing wakes up, it should be so advanced and so much smarter
that it wouldn't.
do that. It would
see.
take. It's like the same reason why we wouldn't go to like a kindergartner class and just beat up all the kids and just fucking take their, it's like to us it wouldn't even be a thought.
I think that I see what you're saying now.
I'm gonna take it to
that
Disney.
could be a possibility. I will definitely not rule that out, no doubt.
Let's take it to
It
Disney.
could be like, look at these stupid idiots. They're so stupid we can't even mess with them.
Yeah.
They're not gonna they can't take us out.
Or they would just be smart enough to just not fucking do some harm or not do stupid
Right.
shit. And
I mean, that's most people. They fear like the Terminator. The Terminator taught you to be afraid of it. That's my point.
Yeah.
Like we don't have
planted the seed.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have any point of reference of like technology being bad. If anything, we have all technology being good. It's helped us.
I think it's unfortunate that it's natural for us to automatically think
yes,
that way. I see what you're saying.
That's our monkey brain being.
I see what you're saying.
We're always scared of the future. It's wired into us because
the unknown is always terrifying to us. Change is always terrifying. There's certain things that are just always immediately
because evolutionary we were safer here. Over there, I don't know what's over there. I'm afraid of what's over here. I'm safe.
Yes,
that's just how we're wired.
Yes, for sure.
I get it. But there's also like, if you think about hunters, right? Their whole idea is environment, and many people see a hunter as somebody who just kills animals, but really there's this whole ecosystem that they're protecting, because if there's too much of one species, the whole ecosystem gets thrown off. So we developed a mental thought to how to maintain a type of balance in nature by controlling population. So if you look at that and you think about, I don't know, the robots at one point, right? And they're like, well, okay, we need to restore a balance. Could that be the danger to some humans if we're overpopulated, if overpopulation is an actual thing?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the caveat. Is it actually a problem? Because there's a lot of people say that we can't overpopulate this earth.
Yeah, so me and you, how do we figure that out? Exactly.
Right. I mean,
we just have to trust them.
I mean, I guess
what side?
I guess
Which way do we lean?
Fresh water and certain things. Maybe there is a limit to like how many people can actually.
I was actually just going to bring that up.
So
for that reason alone.
But I do think we're smart enough
to be population control.
I think we're smart enough to figure out solutions to all problems. So it's like, hey, we're running out of fresh water. Well, can't we create giant desalination?
Well, you mean these monkey brains are able to figure shit out,
dude? Yeah,
why haven't they done? And I bet you I'm going to pose that question and be like, because they are purposely doing it.
No. He thinks I'm all conspiracy.
No. Shit. I don't think you always are, but there are sometimes no doubt that I think you are for sure.
I like it.
But why haven't they done yet?
Why haven't they what exactly?
Why haven't they created exactly what you just asked?
Yeah, where's the utopia?
Yeah, because
there's gonna be. Hold on, you have to understand this. Utopia is a fake thing that will never happen. Show me an example of that on Earth, anywhere, through any species of animal.
Okay, it does happen in small bursts. Okay.
Well, if you want to go,
it's not indefinite.
Well, that book Sapiens talked about how we're best in groups of like 150, I think maybe to 200 at most, that they should be in one area because of all the dynamics. Everyone has a role and all the dynamics are good.
Right.
So us having 3 million people in Chicago alone, it's probably not.
But why can't you extrapolate that and use that to what a robot would think? Like LAMDA would be like, hey, if they're best in a smaller group, let's get rid of some of these motherfuckers.
But why would they even have that thought to get rid of us?
To restore balance.
Why would it have that inclination?
Because it's way smarter than us.
But don't you think that same smartness would be like, okay, I can't mass extinct humans. I will help them by creating.
Why would it say that? There's only so much space on the planet. There's only so much water on the planet. If it gets if it gets to a point, I don't know what the number is. It might be 100 trillion, whatever the number is.
You know why we'll never have to worry about that?
Same reason why we're not going to go into nuclear war?
No. Well, close. We'll probably never get to a population of, let's say, 50 billion. Let's say that's like a big crazy number where you would imagine 50 billion people.
Now that you put it out there, people are going to start fucking.
I know.
No. But
Nick Cannon fucking having 12 children, 18 children, whatever he's got now.
I think the universe and Earth has a way of always balancing out. So if we're starting to fuck with
the for sure.
How are you not making my point?
I was just gonna say that.
Wait, what do you mean?
The universe has its way of balancing itself out.
So it's gonna.
But why? Okay, so you're thinking. So you think through technology, it's gonna. I'm thinking.
No, he doesn't know that. So you just proved his point right there. Boom.
No, I didn't.
100%.
But what I'm saying. Explain.
Well, you just said the universe has its way of balancing
Yes.
itself out.
Okay.
But what if our mentality, we created this machine, right? This machine was able to see it did all the calculations to be like, how do I restore balance to humanity? The best way to do it is let's fucking kill a couple
Exactly.
of babies. And then we restored his balance, and then I could take care of humanity that
Or let's
way.
kill a fucking 100,000 people, a couple 100,000,
And
or whatever,
obviously,
whatever the number may be.
it's gonna kill all the people who. I mean, not obviously, I don't know, but hopefully, it kills off all the fucking dead eaters.
My point where I was going to allude to was by the time we got to the point where, let's say we're at 15 billion people, where we're starting to really notice, like, damn, there's a lot of fucking people. I bet you an asteroid will hit us. Like, I think we've been wiped out before.
Sure.
So I think that we've had big populations of high technological people, aka the fucking pyramids. I'm starting to lean that I don't think aliens built this shit. I think that we're underestimating how advanced we were.
Boom! I love that.
That was,
You know what I'm saying? That makes the most. That actually
that's
makes
a hell
way
of a
more.
statement
That
right
makes
now.
way more sense if you
Yeah.
really want to think about it. It's like
No,
we
for
built.
sure.
We had technology. We had the shit to
Yeah.
do that, and the way the pyramid like the measures up, it's crazy. It's like
It is.
1/44,000th of the Earth in all dimensions. Like the perimeter.
It doesn't make sense.
It's crazy.
It doesn't make any fucking
So I
sense.
think that we were so advanced at one point. We built this thing. We knew that it would
That is
stand the test of
a
time.
wonderful point, man.
You know, so
Seriously.
Yeah,
damn.
and the simple fact is that there are some actual real truths that can't be changed. One of them is numbers, right?
Right.
They're a constant throughout. I mean, if I don't know, squirrels become sapient, at some point they're going to need to count how many nuts they have in their tree, right? So numbers is something that's constant through all. Well, it's obviously that they studied a little deeper, maybe even went a little farther, or maybe lived a lot longer than we have at this point before they went extinct, right? Maybe it's going to take us another 100,000 years to get to the point where they were when they figured out exact measurements for pyramids.
But you know what's interesting also to think about is it's pretty fucking true that a few people in the last couple hundred years really showed us like where our technology was going to go. It seems like
Oh yeah, pushed our potential.
yeah, like through the minds of a few people, they shaped culture and the way we evolved. Like petroleum, we're only going to go gas. We're only.
Yeah.
It's been a few individuals who shaped the entire evolution of
sure.
us for the last 100 years, at least.
Yeah.
Through the industrial age and all that, it's been a
good
few
or
people-
bad, yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine maybe back before the Egyptians and shit, maybe when they started getting advanced, it was how could we study the stars? How could we do it was just a different, like we went right with our thoughts and our evolution, but maybe there was other options. You could have went like, how do we become 100% symbiotic with the earth? And that's what their technology went towards. Yeah.
But yeah, it's really interesting, man. I do think that we have lived,
There you go.
like other civilizations have survived way longer than we have at this point, you know, because there's that, what is it, Viking steel? We have some swords that exist in different museums that were forged by Vikings where the steel is a lot stronger than we've ever been able to get our steel. And we don't know how they did it.
They just what is it? It's like thin layers of metal on top of each other and like
I have no idea. I have no
I think
idea.
it's
but
something like that, like
It's
the
supposed
heat
to.
of
That, you get into like the hardest metals that have ever, like the elements and things like that. You know
Yeah.
what they forged, like the type of metal that is used
Right.
in order to forge that sword or whatever it is.
Right.
I just think of all the technologies that we've missed out, the different type of alchemies that have been out there where they mixed, I don't know, whatever chemicals to come up with. Think about like plant medicine. How much of it has been lost?
Well, that's a
And
good point because
It's an outlet we are barely starting to explore now.
It's even more of a mind fuck. It's talking about the trial and error of certain things. Like, did people actually really try something and just die because they're like, oh, I wonder what this does?
100%.
Right? And, you know,
Oh,
like
I think
this,
we talked about that.
It's
100%.
wild. It's really fascinating to think about it like that. Like, what the fuck? These people
Well,
literally risk their lives to see what it would do.
Yeah, right.
Would it be potentially helpful or harmful?
So
I'm
do-
gonna die right now.
So, do you think that some of our ancestors were eating things like psilocybin mushrooms?
Absolutely.
So they would find it and they ate it, and then that's actually one of the theories of how
That's
we
a
evolved.
stone the ape theory.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this guy Terrence McKenna, this Rogan put me on him, and he talks about how he can trace back in through different stories and different like tales of our ancestors eating mushrooms, and that's kind of how their brain really evolved because we used to being from real simple like stone technology. What do they call it? Stone Age.
Yeah.
Like we're in the Stone Age. They ate some shit, and that's what really allowed the brain to start widening up and start thinking differently. I don't know if you've ever done mushrooms. It kind of seems like
I've never done it. Actually, I take that back. I microdosed one time, but that doesn't even count in my opinion.
It's cool. I'm recently doing it out in public where I would take mushrooms and I'll do either a little bit more than a microdose where I feel it, but it's not too strong.
Yeah.
Question. Last week on the podcast, did you take anything?
On it?
Yeah.
No.
During? No?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why?
No, I was like, holy shit, he is really on one this week.
Oh, was I?
Dude, I'm editing the whole podcast. I'm like, holy shit, Dino is on fire, man.
Oh, was I? Damn.
You're like, you were like a fucking M16.
No, I thought about it actually. I thought about doing that and just surprising, but well, no.
Okay.
I did eat some though the other day. And actually, I took two. So I get these chocolate bars, and I believe there is 10 pieces, or maybe it's 8 pieces, and all of it equals about 4 grams. Which, if I ate the whole bar, I'd be fine. I'd be fucked up, but I'd survive.
What's like a hero dose?
A hero dose, well, that's actually a term, and I believe that's 7 grams, which is
7.
fucking, whoo, I've never taken that. I've only done half of that.
That sounds horrible.
3.5 grams is a good trip where you're in a real trip where you could really start seeing some shit. I shouldn't say, it's not like you see things that aren't there. You're not seeing like a leprechaun run across your, eyes. It's like, you do see like,
Well, you are technically seeing things aren't there. It's what you're hallucinating. I mean, you're seeing things.
No. What you see
fucking
edges different. You see the edges of light different. You look at the TV, it can fuck with you, but you're not seeing like a rodent or something that's
that
not
really
actually
is not there to be
right.
there, but be present. Yeah.
But what's nice?
But some people do report stuff like that.
Well, you can. Okay.
Maybe this is you.
Yeah, that's
Are you sure it's on shrooms and not acid? Because I heard acid is more prone to make you hallucinate in
are
that
they
manner.
closing their eyes and then that whatever like that fog you see is starting to turn into things? Maybe.
Well, I mean, because I can close my eyes and I can see a mouse.
Right.
But is it going to be different when I'm on acid? Maybe. Depends on the person, right? Because it affects everybody differently.
Absolutely.
It definitely depends what you're doing as well. I feel like you're really impressionable in that time. So like if you're watching a scary movie, it's gonna like intensify. It's gonna be like it's gonna fuck you up a little more because you're a little more like more sucked into whatever they're selling kind of thing. So like that's why the music's kind of cool because you're really buying into it. It draws you in more.
Have you ever had a bad trip?
On acid, I did, but it wasn't like I'm crawled up in the corner bad.
Yeah,
but
so you weren't
crying. It was like a. What is this fucking real right now? I swear to God, I was watching Family Guy, and it was an episode where it was like the 100th episode. So Seth wrote, what's his name? Seth MacFarlane. They were doing like little interviews. He's like, oh, in this episode, blah blah blah, and he was just kind of talking. They'll show a clip, and it was like it wasn't a typical Family Guy episode. And he was the devil. Like, he was like, I know you're listening to me right now.
Yeah.
And he was fucking talking to me, and I'm like...
See, I'm out.
I
am out. I'm not doing that shit.
And I was grabbing Nikki at the time. I'm like, is this real? Like, are you hearing this? And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, are you not hearing what I'm hearing? And I was like, chill. And those were the times where I was like, dude, chill. And there was times where I closed my eyes... And I swear to God, we're watching this movie called The Scanner Darkly, and it's with what's the dude for The Matrix? Keanu Reeves. He's in that movie, and that movie's trippy because it's real people, but they put a filter on it where it looks kind of like a comic book.
Oh, like anime.
Yes.
I've seen the preview for that, actually.
It's trippy as fuck, and I'm pretty positive you're supposed to watch that on... It's because I Googled movies to watch on acid, and that popped up.
No shit.
So there's a at some point I think he works with the cops. I don't even know I couldn't even watch the whole movie because I was tweaking. There was a point in time where I think he was like undercover, and so when you're hearing the movie, I started like thinking it's in my brain like talking to me, and I would talk to it and it would fucking answer, and I was like, hey, what the fuck?
Dude, but how is that not you seeing things?
That's what I'm saying. So, but
It's
that's him on acid though. For for the record,
and
not
okay.
shroom. That's him
Not
on
shrooms.
acid,
Okay.
and that's what I said. That's what I said earlier.
And that's what I said when you're really like, what's the word?
So what'd you say though? Again, sorry to interrupt you. I
no,
apologize.
so-
But would you say that your hallucination then is way more, it's crazier, more intense, whatever, on acid as opposed to shrooms?
Absolutely.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking.
I always say this: acid. So mushrooms, you go up and down with peaks. You peak, you're like tripping, and then you come back down, and you'll come back up. You do usually have like 3 or 4 of those kind of cycles. With acid, it's like the peak, but it's like that for 5-6 hours straight.
Wow.
There's no down.
And
There's no down.
you're just always there, dude.
Yeah.
You do go up and down, but you're up high already. You don't come that down. You're already up there.
So it's like brings you up, and you surf it.
Yeah,
you surf that
exactly.
wave. Yeah, holy shit.
And
okay.
I remember, so even like the lyrics of the lyrics of the intro, what are the words of the Family Guy song? I go something here today.
I wouldn't know.
I don't know.
I never watched it religiously.
Oh, there used to be there's violence in movies and sex on TV. When they said that, I was like, oh, and where are those good old fashioned values? I was like, oh shit, there aren't any values on TV anymore. It made all I was like, yo.
You had like a moment.
I had a fucking moment of like, oh my God. There seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. I'm like, yeah, you do. That is all you see on TV. And
You were like, more, bring it.
and I was like, oh, and then he was like, okay, this is a real story too. So there was a point in time where Seth MacFarlane was like, something like, oh, she didn't tell you about Chris, right? And I go to Nikki, I go, bro, you're fucking Chris. She goes, he just sends me dick pics on Snapchat.
Oh my
Shut the fuck
God.
up right now.
Swear-
Shut the fuck up right now.
If I'm fucking lying, I'm dying.
my
I'm
my
not.
God.
Wait,
so
but
you caught her up in some shit
Yes.
just by this hallucination?
Yes.
Get the
But
fuck out of here, dude.
But did you have like, was there something you saw before that made you think that brought you to it?
Yeah.
No,
Are
no,
you sure
what-
that you didn't already have some
let me-
assumptions? Sorry,
no,
my
let
bad,
me
my bad,
explain.
My bad.
Did you have your woman's intuition?
Yeah, are you sure you didn't see something prior, like a
Yeah.
name that came across her fucking phone
Let
one
me
day?
let me let me tell you.
Here we
So,
go.
like I said, when you're tripping, you're very.
More Dad?
No, there's no more. If
don't
you want to
worry.
get more, go get the bottle.
All right, excuse me, boys.
Yeah, get the bottle and then make sure you get all of it.
Let's do a little bit of Johnny Walker.
If you want, all right, whatever.
It's all good.
But like I said, when you're listening to things, you're very vulnerable. So like you buy into everything. So he said something about Chris, and the way my brain interpreted it was, she's fucking Chris. So I just go, you're fucking Chris, and she had this look on her face, like, no, he sends me dick pics on Snapchat, and I'm like, what? So did I come up that with out of nowhere? Not exactly. The show said something about like, she's not telling you about Chris. It was something like that. And then I just turned to her, and like I said, like when I'm listening to something, I swear to God, it feels like a goddamn conversation in my brain. Like I'm having, the words are coming out of the movie, and somehow I answer it, but it still syncs up with the movie somehow, and I'm getting, I get weird answers and fucking messages. I get that all the time.
That's some crazy ass witchcraft type shit.
And I'm telling you, the whole next, we fought about it because I'm like, how did I get this information out of you like that?
Was she
Yes,
tripping
is it
too?
random?
Was she tripping
Oh
too?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Is it random? Yeah. Like on the scope of things, yes, it's random, but just a crazy coincidence.
Yeah, that's
Just beyond crazy.
Yeah.
And you're positive you didn't see any text messages prior to this or something
No,
that
no,
popped
no.
up that might have just triggered you
No,
in
no,
some type
no,
of
no.
capacity.
It was. I heard this in the show.
right.
It brought. I would have never said the
No,
word.
but
Chris.
I mean, I'm talking like even like, weeks prior, fucking months prior, days prior, or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
that just
no.
could have like possibly triggered you.
No.
Okay, all
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, imagine what it did to like the
It
early
fucked me up.
monkeys before we became this.
It fucked me up for days because I was like,
I can imagine a
how
monkey
are the
going.
chances I found that out?
That's crazy.
That is fucked.
That's
no doubt.
insanity.
And I feel like, but it's not totally out of the realm of maybe under the influence you you know, your brain in normal reality is always
Yeah.
A to B, A to B, A to B. I'm here and the reality is B. But when you take shit, there is now a C and D option. The reality is A and B, but now there's like an A, B, C. It's like there's a different way to kind of connect things. And maybe
So you're trying to say that drugs are opening up your brain, or utilizing parts of your brain that you haven't used before.
or maybe you could be sensitive and you use like the interpretation to figure out what that means. You know what I'm saying?
So we have while we're not on drugs or any type of I don't know, anything that modifies our mentality, right? We use our five senses for things, right? You smell bread, you want bread. You want bread, you want butter. Like all these things.
Keep going.
But then you take these drugs and maybe like there's a sixth sense, a seventh sense. I don't know. Maybe they all communicate differently because so like maybe one part of your body gets clouded. You know how we talked about how your stomach talks to your brain and your kidneys say things and your body starts to function in other ways. Maybe some things get blocked off by that drug, that your body starts communicating a different way and it opens like a different understanding somewhere. I don't know, but it's very, very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt.
Yeah,
I would like to believe that. Because I heard it said before, it's like when you're high, you're at a higher consciousness. So it's like you can.
Yeah, that's why they call it being high.
Right, exactly.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
no,
it's
for
like,
sure.
I do believe that there is chemical. Maybe there's chemical pathways to different dimensions, and so that's what I was gonna go to. So while I'm tripping, I'm like full blown like tripping at Nikki's house. So I started thinking. So in that movie, A Scanner Darkly, I think he's like an undercover cop. So while they were doing some undercover, like they were just doing police talk, in my head, I'm like, oh fuck. I alerted some kind of dimensional police that knows that I should not be in that realm. It knows I'm there, and it said, what are you doing here? And I was fucking tripping. I was like, oh fuck. Because before I took the acid, I was like, I put an intention out. Like, I want to get more knowledge. Because I feel like when you're on those hallucinogens, you get unspoken knowledge. You'll get a new understanding that you can't really explain how you got there, but you just get it.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought that the powers that be that want us to keep us. That's why they made those things illegal, right? They want to keep us, I feel like, at a certain frequency. They just stay drunk. Because that's a low frequency. Like being drunk is slow, lower, you're dumber, right? Yeah. So I feel like the acids and the weeds and all that was illegal because it made you question things. It made you question, like, why do you have power over me? And they don't want that. They don't want you to question why they have authority over you. So I was in my whole mind, I believe that like they sense that I'm in a new reality now, and they were like, what are you doing here? If you don't fucking leave, we're gonna send the police to your house. Like, I had those thoughts in my head. It was so trippy. It was like a super trip. I'm sure that's crazy.
Well, yeah, of course it sounds crazy, but I mean,
but I do think there is a way for us to be in a different reality via chemicals.
I mean,
100%.
I'm not going to say it's not possible, but...
And you said something earlier that made me think about it. You said how people try things, like who was the person had to try the thing, like to know if that food was edible or not.
Like, or poisonous, or, yeah.
Well, who the fuck figured out how to take ayahuasca? So you have to understand, ayahuasca, you know what ayahuasca is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, there's thousands of plants in the fucking Amazon. Thousands.
Yeah.
Only these two right. Put together in that manner will give you that result.
Yeah.
So it is impossible for somebody just to discover that. Like, how do they know that?
Why is that impossible?
Okay, well, how would you put those two together? And they would have to boil it. They'd have to do the whole thing.
Am I not mistaken that there's the tribe that, like, this tribe that had founded this is, like, fucking, historic is an understatement. I mean, this tribe has been around for... fucking, I don't
over
know,
probably 50,000
years.
years.
So like, I mean, yes, I do believe
how they became.
Somehow they tried something and they were like, holy shit, this just fucking made me brought me to a whole nother world or whatever.
No. Their folklore is that it was given to them from the gods.
Okay.
So you could say aliens, maybe. You could say whatever. But their story, if you track it all the way back down to ayahuasca and all the shaman, they said they were giving it to from the gods. The gods gave it to them.
Okay, let's go back to what you said earlier when you were talking about people going, or technology going left and right. You know, there's different outlets, different doorways. If we go back, let's go, I don't know, whenever they discovered ayahuasca. If you think about what the indigenous people used to do when they would boil different plants to figure out whether it was edible or not, they would get sick. And you think about how long they did this for and how many generations did it. Eventually, they were like, okay, so this doesn't taste good.
Right.
But if you take this and you mix the sugary thing with it, now it's drinkable and it doesn't give you a stomachache. And then all of a sudden, maybe they were like, this one and this one.
Again, trial and error, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's just true. I think that's what a lot of it really was. I mean, back then, it's what everything really was.
It's medicine today is that exact same thing.
1000%. That's exactly what it was.
So when they say the gods gave it to us, maybe it's just trial and error.
But they were also very religious in a sense, right? You know, so of course, I think that's kind of what their foundation would be, because they were just so religious in some type of higher power that. That's just kind of what they believed. In a sense.
We're not giving them credit that maybe they did have the science behind it.
True.
You know, they could have known compounds. They could have been a part of their evolution.
Man. It's possible that what we call science, they had an acronym for God.
Yeah. You know, side note too. Did you guys ever see it was on Netflix. It was a documentary about people who had PTSD and some type of trauma, whatever, that they started taking ecstasy, and it legitimately helped them. And then in the I think in the 80s or the early 90s, I think the late 80s, is this is kind of going back to what you were saying about how the government and things they wanted to control certain things.
Sure.
And there was all this documentation that the drug was actually helping people get over PTSD and that insane trauma that they had to deal with. And yeah, but I mean, obviously, because people started abusing it, which was it's horrible. I mean, but again, that's the inevitable. But anyways, that's crazy to me but now they're trying to have this push again towards that drug to being able to be used from a therapeutical sense, to be prescribed is what I'm trying to say.
It's bananas. It's absolutely bananas that we would allow the government to tell us what we can't ingest in our body. How dare you tell me what I cannot put in my body in the fucking privacy of my home? Now, you want to make laws and rules about you get caught drinking and driving, you get caught high driving, tripping and driving. Yeah, you should maybe go to jail or get some kind of whatever.
Because, real quick, sorry, I'm so sorry to interrupt you again, but I mean, alcohol. When you consume alcohol, there's obviously a reason, because then you get an accident, you kill people. That's why they try to do some type of control where you shouldn't be driving under the influence. Because you're saying, how dare you control that? But that's why they control that.
No.
You know what I mean?
But Dino's talking about overreach.
How dare you make plants, things that grow from the earth, illegal?
Yeah.
Marijuana. Yeah, okay, we've genetically made it stronger, but it grows from the ground. It's gonna do that. And like Cat Williams says in that joke, if I just so happen to put fire to that fucking plant, who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's like, and the fact that mushrooms, that grows from cow shit and grows from whatever, if I eat that, you shouldn't. If I can eat apples and I can eat fucking nuts, I can eat fucking things we drink coffee. Coffee is a drug. It alters your state of mind. It's just an acceptable one. Alcohol is a drug.
Yeah, caffeine's a stimulant. Yeah, right.
Alcohol is a drug too. It's just an acceptable one.
Right.
Fucking donuts are a drug. It's just sugar is just an acceptable drug.
But I think how alcohol is actually acceptable. If you really think about all the fucking things that alcohol is, there's no benefit whatsoever. No health. Not fucking one.
Not a health benefit, no.
But just no benefit whatsoever.
There's a social benefit.
Okay, yeah, my bad. I apologize. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt. But I mean, it's crazy that alcohol is allowed, but yet there's that other things that should be. Look at weed, for example, where we're getting to marijuana.
A little bit this way.
Where we're getting to marijuana right now.
Yeah. No, it's just
how we're just getting to that point with marijuana is fucking crazy. I don't even smoke. I don't smoke weed. Once in a while I hit something.
But that's my point. That's because the guy, I forgot the dude's name, he owned the cotton back in the 70s, And hemp was a threat to his business.
Yeah.
So he lobbied to make sure it was fucking illegal.
Lobbyists, dude.
Exactly.
That is what that is.
Exactly.
They are really the fucking worst. You started this whole fucking
dude,
podcast over. We can have a whole podcast on lobbyists.
Well, let's go into it because that literally is the problem. That's the problem with politics.
100%.
Pharmaceuticals, it's all the same shit.
Absolutely.
Dude, don't even get me started.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh.
I can't believe
it's something we can get into.
We should
Dude,
because I'm gonna predict that they're gonna try this shit again this winter. We're in fall right now. Cold season, flu season's right here, and they're gonna at least attempt it. I thought about this earlier today. They're gonna at least make one attempt to try to scare again. Be like. I think my guess is they're going to try to do it like on a Friday, and then they're going to try to really pump negative news for a weekend, and they're just going to put the finger on the pulse to see how we react. So they're going to be like, oh, more people are dying. Should we do lockdown? Blah, blah, blah. But they're just going to pose it. They're just going to like put their toe in the water to see if they should do that or not.
Yeah.
And then they're going to wait for us. And if we don't have enough uproar, they're going to fucking hammer that shit. Because I didn't really watch all the polls and all the voting and all that, but apparently there was supposed to be a red wave. You kept hearing there's going to be a red wave across the nation. None of that shit happened. Yeah. So which means there's people who voted for more lockdowns and more government overreach. They like that. So it's kind of so my theory, my guess is that they're going to attempt it in the next month or two. And they're going to see if they can get another round of scare, but we're going to have to just see if it works or not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's scary. They mask all that, like that lockdown shit with the type of sugar that allows people to be like, well, we need more freedom. We need people who are needy to have certain things. We need, like all this shit, like take the money from they mask it with all this stuff. And then they sprinkle it with lockdowns and fucking do freedom. Their overreach and all this other shit. Man. It is, man. It's terrible that they fucking do this.
Dude, to even a step further, like we are talk about a pandemic, like an opioid pandemic is what I would call it, because we have been battling this shit for how long now? Motherfucking pharmaceutical companies, their hands are in doctors' pockets. These fucking doctors will prescribe fucking people with opioids for no fucking apparent reason. You go in there with some type of oh, I can't concentrate. Boom, let me give you something to fix that. Or you know, I mean, that's not even a fucking but you know what I'm saying, man. Like painkillers, it's fucking insane to me that these doctors, it's disgusting, man. I can't even.
These people know that they'll make $10 billion over on the year, and they'll get fined $4 billion, and it's a good business model
for sure.
They don't give a fuck.
No.
And
at the expense of human beings, they don't give a shit.
No,
they do not. They are the worst of the worst. I'm telling you.
And know what's funny?
Man. It's crazy.
There's people with Pfizer tattoos on their body. They thought Pfizer was the answer. They're like, this is the second coming of Christ. All we need is this vaccine, and everything's gonna go back to normal. That's how they fucking, dude. That's how they pitched it on the news. They said the virus dies with you. If you get the vaccine and you catch the virus, it dies with you. They fucking all said it. It's all lies.
These people are very necessary. The people who have the Pfizer sticker or tattoo on their body, they're very necessary. These are the same people 50,000 years ago they used to test their fucking T's on. You know what I mean? Hey, take this. Oh, he died. We need those fuckers.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Those are the people. Those are the people that will line up to get these fucking studies on them. You know what I mean? Like there are 40 needles in them a week.
Yeah.
We need those people. Test on those fucks.
I know, man. Hey, okay, so
it's so bad.
And so Pfizer and Moderna and all these companies, they made absolute record numbers when it came to money.
Yeah.
They've never seen a fucking money grab like that.
You got to take in part of inflation and everything like that.
My fear is this, that all companies have an infinite growth model. It means every quarter they better do better because they actually have a legal obligation to their shareholders to do better than the quarter before.
Of course.
How are they going to make those same numbers again?
a pandemic.
They're gonna fucking figure it out. You better believe they're gonna figure it out.
I'm
Right.
saying, but a pandemic. They utilize the pandemic. Exactly to your point.
I've been hearing.
Legit.
I randomly hear commercials. I hear Moderna and like Pfizer commercials, and they sicken me.
Oh, it's
because they're so fake and and they're like, oh, all your kids need to be. They're trying to make this vaccine a part of the inoculations of all kids get.
Dude, so I'm about to have a son right now, and now they're having.
Oh yeah, I meant to talk about that, but we're way off the intro. I meant to do it.
But now, so the reason why I'm bringing this up is, and I'm glad it's a segue, perfect segue, Dino, because now they're coming out with this pill or vaccination that you should give your newborn to help out because they get a lot of respiration issues. And now this miraculous fucking vaccination that has to do with it's supposed to help COVID and the respiration issues in one knockout. It's
kids don't have to worry about COVID, but why are they lying?
It's all over now. I'm telling you, it's on every fucking commercial.
I know.
If you guys haven't seen it, you gotta watch. Next time you view this shit, it's gonna
No,
be right there.
I mean, look, they figured out how to make tons of money with war. And now they figured out they can do that with medication, right? You get people to comply, we make tons of money. So if there's drugs out there that open your mind and make you question, why would they allow them? What they actually want is they want you to comply, no questions asked.
Do you think that's also because the country is so uneducated and that they're so dumb that they don't realize what's happening right in front of their faces?
I think they keep us this way.
I think we're a country of gullible people. Very gullible.
Insane.
Because people like my mom, for instance, they could not comprehend that something on TV, on cable, official, would lie to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's people who walk their dog to this day with masks on.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
They fucking ate it up. Hook, line, sinker. If they say, hey, you gotta donate a kidney to survive COVID, they're fucking giving their kidney up.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just like there are a lot of those people are out there, you know. So I mean, I'd like, as much as I want to be glass half full, there's a lot of dumb. There's so many dumb people out there.
Way too many. That's why
and these are the people that I think LAMDA's going to end up fucking elimination. Get rid of those fucking assholes.
That's a fucking segue right there,
right?
My friend.
Yeah,
I love that.
definitely.
I love that. Let's go back. Hell yeah.
I feel like just the dumb people, you would just hope that, who was it, Darwin, just the strongest and the fittest
Survival
survive.
of the fittest.
Yeah, so those people are eventually just going to, I don't know, either just die off or just be at a lower place where they don't affect you anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. You know what? All right. So there was something that I really, really, really wanted you to come over yesterday, so you could watch What Is a Woman.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about this. Yeah.
Dude,
I gotta
Matt
watch that
Walsh,
shit.
man, he was just actually on Rogan a couple days ago. This fucking documentary, you know, if you haven't watched it, it's called What Is a Woman? Matt Walsh has it on the
Ask, what is a woman?
Yeah. What do you think a woman is? It's a good question.
Once again, it's such a broad question. I mean,
it shouldn't be. Unfortunately, it should not be a broad question.
See, now you're just about to open a can of fucking worms, and you might be leading me into some damage control here.
Well,
but for me, it's
don't over. Okay, the problem is people
someone
are
that was born
overthinking it.
with tits and a vagina. That's a woman to me.
Okay, well, there's dudes who can get those.
Born with tits and a vagina. That's why I made sure that I use my word usage very specifically and concrete. Born with boobs and a vagina.
And you know what's funny is somehow that's controversial. What you just said.
I know, and that's why I'm saying you just literally threw me in the lines.
That's the whole point of it. That's the whole point of this documentary. So this guy, he goes to women's marches. He's going to all these places, talking to college professors or deans, you know, in the college world. What is a woman? These fucking people dance around the answer. It is so funny because now I understand what these people do. They just say a bunch of word salad. They just go around in a circle, and they can't. If you just keep letting them talk, they'll talk themselves into a corner because it just doesn't make sense. They start saying all these extra words, and it's how you feel, and whatever your truth is, and it's like, no, like you're changing language to fit your ideal. That's what these people are doing. They're taking words and changing the meaning to fit their thing. And it's like, what I think a woman is whatever was born that could potentially give birth.
I was going to actually just
Now,
add,
not all
include
women
that as well. Actually, yes.
women have, complications. Not all women, but theoretically, they had the
Yes.
potential
Right.
to give birth.
I should have included that as well.
Right, right.
Yes, yes.
That's really what a woman is. But
Yes.
and it's so funny because there's no like debate like what a man is. I feel like it's just more of like the women. It's like more of a woman because they're like, oh, it's
a man's
it's
world.
fluid. It's whatever you feel like, and it's like
You just said it's a man's world, and I do believe that, but there's a lot of people that don't.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but I mean, there's literally, there's a song about it. Like, it's fucking, it's great. I mean, that's women have gotten the short end of the stick. Let's just say.
Why do you think that?
yeah. Why do you think that exactly?
I mean, this
Give reasons other than a general consensus of what people say.
Well, I mean, it goes back to prior times. I mean, unfortunately, they were always categorized as the get in the kitchen, make my fucking food, raise my kids while I go out, I'm the breadwinner. But I mean, realistically, that was I think it's an unrealistic.
Is it though? Think about it. In the wild, isn't there always one that it's mostly the male that goes out and hunt, and the female takes care of the cubs or the infants?
Yeah, that's true.
It's very natural thing.
Nature.
We've for decades, like thousands of years, the men go on the hunt. Now there are tribes in Africa. I know some people can find certain,
fuck that.
but just the general shit is the man goes out and hunts, provides, works, whatever, and the woman takes care of whatever. That's just like the most natural thing. And I'm not saying, and we're not saying that women can't be a breadwinner, but just in the most traditional way, they're not.
The simple fact is that men and women, we're not the same.
Anatomically and physiologically,
not the same.
It is true fact that we are just superior. There is no science is behind this.
I have to disagree with you.
Yeah,
we're not superior.
Yeah, the word superior would trigger some people.
I don't give a shit. Superior. No, but hold on.
Yeah.
Specifically to the anatomical and physiological aspect of it. Not in like, so a woman can't be more successful than a man. Yes, they can. I understand that. But if you're going to sit here and try to tell me that some woman can bench more than me, yes, maybe some. I mean, when they're pumping fucking an insane amount of steroids. Yeah, I mean, very few. Naturally, anatomically, and physically, it wouldn't allow you to do so. We are superior in that regard. There is no fucking
stronger.
question behind that. We are strong. Men are stronger. It's just it's how it is. If there's a fight, we are going to win. That's just how it is.
Okay. I want to disagree because the reason why I say that we're different is because women are far superior in other things that men are not, and men are far superior in women that women are not. So
Agreed.
We each have our like gender roles. And there's this thing on the internet. It's all over the internet. It's like red pill, blue pill people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And we kind of stumbled across it because we had this weird early on with the podcast. We were just talking about relationships because something that happened in between me and my girlfriend.
He got his heart broken.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
My heart don't break. It laughs and moves on. But anyways, so there's this red pill, blue pill community out there. And so what they say is like men have to make themselves, which is true. A man is not born with value. And a woman is born with value. As men, we value their virginity. We value their femininity.
Youth.
We value their youth. We value their beauty. Those are but we value them right out the cuff. That's the value. A man, he's a piece of shit till he makes himself. And it takes him years to make himself. So lots of times you'll see on YouTube where you'll see this girl where she's just walking by and there's this average looking dude. And he's like, hey, can I have your number? And she's like, no. And then he walks around a Ferrari, opens the door, and she's like, what the fuck? Is that your car?
I think I've seen that.
And it's because it triggers them because women are looking for some provider, a provider.
Yeah.
And men become providers because men are the stronger species. We go out there, we work, we basically bring home the bacon or go out there and hunt. And women, what do? They get pregnant, right? They give you a child, and for the 9 months that they're pregnant and for the whole time the baby is dependent on the woman. She can't go out and hunt. She
Right.
can't take care of herself. He has to provide and protect her, all this shit. So we're very different, but we're both very necessary, and we're both superior in different ways.
Let me just clarify. I just want to make sure that when I say that we were superior, I meant in the physicality aspect of things, like
As far as
strength, fighting, things like that.
Speed.
I don't want to say that we are superior as a sex or just in general as a species. I didn't mean it like that. I just wanted
But
to
it
make
is a
sure I
man's
clarified
world.
That.
But
And
women.
so-
Oh, go ahead.
No,
Finish your thought. Finish your
Go
thought.
ahead. Go ahead.
What I was gonna say,
I just
women.
wanted to clarify that.
Women a long time ago, through long time ago, they figured out their best bet is to hitch themselves to a man for survival, for themselves. They need a man when they're pregnant.
I was just gonna say.
When they're pregnant, they're
Just gonna say
vulnerable. They're vulnerable for a whole year,
Literally
basically.
just gonna say that.
So, evolutionary, it's very instinctual for them
Yes.
to be, I need to link up to a strong man. Why do you think all bitches want tall guys? They think it's all because they're handsome, but in their mind and their DNA, it's like, no, this big guy can
Yeah,
protect me.
right? No matter what.
That's
For
what
sure.
it is.
Yeah.
So,
He can outwork other men. He'll make more. He
Right.
can provide better things.
Yeah.
You know, and women never stop competing. They're constantly competing with each other. This is why they wear makeup. This is why they try to be more beautiful. This is why they want to go out to show them, look, I'm a better bitch than you. And I fucking believe, I really do believe that they don't have like the type of friendships that men have. Like we're
They
far
don't.
superior.
They don't.
We're far
That's where we are
as
also superior.
friendship.
Yeah.
Because
It's
this is why we have a
crazy.
best man.
Crazy.
Right?
dude.
Because the man used to go out there and he would go out there. The best man would watch out and help fight and
Right,
so
right.
he could go there, take the
Yeah.
woman from the father.
For sure.
You know, all
Yeah,
this shit.
it's
So
crazy.
we're far superior. And then with men in societies back then, and I don't know, 5,000-10,000 years ago, when you brought a woman to you, there would be a bigger man that would come and kill the whole village of men and children and take the women. She would have to adapt to the next strong man. He would rape her, give her children, and a few weeks later, what do they call that thing when you fall in love with your captor?
Fuck.
That thing, whatever that is.
Yeah, right.
Women-
It's something syndrome. It's Stockholm syndrome.
Stockholm
you go.
syndrome.
There you go.
So
200
that
points.
shit,
Yeah.
like
200 points.
women had to
Yeah.
like fall in love with the captor back then. So this is why I think I'm like, you know, it has to be that they have this function where in their brain, because they evolved in a very brutal world where yes, men would steal them and men would rape them and they
Knock
would
them over the head and drag them to the cave.
right? Yeah, this all this shit. But
Dude.
that's not what we're dealing with today. Today, men are pieces of shit. I tell Dino all the
Yeah,
time.
it's
No one
true.
gives a fuck about us. If you watch every TV show, they
Some people
make
care
fun
about
of
me.
men.
Some people care about me.
They make
That's a
fun of men.
generalization.
Look, a woman gets pregnant, right? She has the option to get rid of it. Man's got no say.
Hey, don't even get
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay,
It's a hot button issue
It
right
is.
here.
Maybe here in Chicago, but I don't know. You go a state down or across the fucking border. It's a different story. These
Okay,
days.
well, that's
I know
changing
what you
now.
meant, I know what you meant,
But I'm
yeah,
saying,
sorry.
like, what they did, the world changed for them. And I say that this is it's turning to being a woman's world. Because everybody is way more emotional, where men...
dude.
I think we're just conceding more.
Well,
Just real quick.
let me make... All right, go ahead.
No. I'm sorry. Please finish your thought. Finish your thought.
My what I'm saying is that now everybody's more docile. Women are on top because if they get beat, they have a place to go. Now, there are women out there that can beat up some men, and there are women out there that are as abusive
Adrian.
as some men.
Adrian, you got me? You got me on some ice from my
Yeah,
fridge?
there can be women out there that are more abusive than men. Women today are more likely to initiate divorce. Like, and then when they get divorced, they get paid for it. Like all these things that they do, they're getting scot free. And men, nothing. You know, if you get into an argument with your girl, you are going to jail.
Yeah, isn't that
And
fun?
it could be her fault. She could punch herself and be like, so what I'm saying is like, is it now a man's world? It is a man's world because they cannot live without us because we do the bricklaying, we do the sewer work, we do the electrical, the construction, we do all the shit that they have. And then later on, when you've built everything, they'll come and take pictures on your boat.
You're making insanely valid points, and I agree with you 1,000% on honestly everything that you're saying. However, how can you not say that we're taking at least fucking 10 steps, at least maybe 15, 50, however many steps backwards with this wait and roll bullshit, how it got overturned, and now we're going back to fucking, how is it a woman's world if now we're telling you that you cannot fucking have an abortion? We are not in a fucking woman's world. We are absolutely in a man's world, and what just happened with all that shit right now is 100% telling you that is a fact. But again, everything that you said, I cannot tell you how much I agree with you. But this legislature that just came out, I mean, it's fucking crazy that we reopened that can of worms, and now we went back on something that we thought we were making progress with women, from women's suffrage and all that shit. Nah, dude, what just happened right now is disgusting, and I can't believe it actually did.
I believe that it's women that have fucked up the world. This is my belief.
Elaborate, please.
Yeah, so I'm an avid reader of the Bible. But I'm not religious.
Here we go.
I'm not religious.
Well, you're not. Hold up.
He's a Bible. He knocks on doors on Sunday. I'm just
joking. But I feel like that's a contradiction. How are you not religious if you don't read the Bible? That's
okay. I believe. Let me make my point.
Sorry.
So the idea is that the Bible's been around for 2,000 or around 2,000 years. It's a book that survived civilizations, many of them, and I believe that it's a book that has knowledge for you to build a proper civilization. Like, this has been handed down. First, it was oral, then it got written. And these stories are far older than the 2,000 years that the book is. And in there are stories, and these stories help you lay out how to create a society or a civilization. And all these stories, yes, now we have a religion that you could follow. Not one, many based on these books. And so when I say I'm not religious, I don't read it because I want you to become that. No, I read it because there's teachings in there that will help my life to be better. And so that book,
that's an interesting perspective.
That book is very sexist. That book will tell you women should not lead.
Right.
And then it tells you why they should not lead. It'll tell you that they're emotional, and the Bible calls them chaos and fertile ground. It calls the man the seed. Which, if you look at it, you're like, holy shit, that's kind of true. Because we provide the seed and they provide the fertile ground, and then they grow a plant with a child. All these things are in there. All these stories are in there. And there's so many teachings that you could kind of pull out if you wanted to build a civilization. So I'm not religious, but I do read it and being like, oh shit, if I can apply because I do call myself a realist, I apply that realism to it and be like, how can I do this? How can I add these things? Like some people said that Jesus walked on water. I don't truly believe that, because there was a tribe back in 2,000 years ago that they actually used psychedelic mushrooms. And one of the mushrooms they called the Messiah, and that mushroom they would eat. And then there's a story in the Bible with Philip and Stephen. They're on a boat, they're fishing, and they can't find any fish. And he says that Jesus walked on water. What if what was floating on the water was a mushroom that he ingested and now he's hallucinating? All these things are possible. They're all interlinked. All these weird stories are together.
Mind blown right now.
And so I was talking to Dino, and I was like, all right. So in the Bible, people worshipped. Moses went up to Mount Sinai and he brought down some tablets, which is real crazy because he went up there to go talk to a burning bush. What does it mean to burn a bush? We burn different incense. Tobacco can make you high if you snort it. Like all these smells that can get you high, right? So he's out there talking to a burning bush, an acacia tree, which can give you hallucinogen. Oh, let me finish it.
Go ahead.
So Moses, right? If he came from this tribe that actually was the tribe that ingested mushrooms to speak to God or open up your reality, right? When he came down from that mountain, he came down to the people were worshiping the cow. And he was like, you stupid idiots, do not worship the cow. It's the mushrooms that grow on the shit of cow that we worship.
That's what I'm piggybacking on, the whole psilocybin, and it's stories that this was the answer. Like that's how they spoke to God, was through hallucinating.
So essentially, it's you're telling me it's been lost in translation.
A little bit.
That,
there's people who've made
go ahead.
there's people who've made basically saying that, yeah, like there's one way of saying it, but then if you substitute these words with these words, it means something
completely
yeah,
different
exactly.
perspective as to what it is. Yeah, I mean, honestly, God, I've never even heard about it from that perspective, but that's fucking.
If you read the Bible and you read it out, it's very sexist. It does not want women to lead. It does not want them to lead.
I knew that much for sure. I mean, I've never.
It says they have their place. There's actually verses in there that I've told Dino. There's a verse in there that says, "You're better to sleep on the corner of the roof of your house than to share four corners with a quarrelsome woman." It lays it out that way.
Matthew 2:22.
No. No, these things are laid out this way, and then women are so quick to say we're what is it that we women hate. I'm not women hating. I'm just saying you are superior in some ways. Womenizers. Yeah, like
no, we need to come to grips that we are different. And I feel like that is where the core problem.
And
with some
love
people
women. I love women.
Oh, I mean,
we're different.
We're different.
Process different. We look different. We're physically different.
We love different.
Listen, I have the utmost respect for my girl bearing my child. I mean, just women in general bearing a child. It's one of the most fascinating fucking things
It's
I've ever seen.
bananas.
It's. Listen, guys, I'm telling you something right now.
You gotta talk into the face of
This fucking thing is, I think it's falling down.
Well, raise it up a little more.
All right, fuck. Yeah, boys.
You're good. You're good.
Some technical difficulties over here.
Talk to it. There you go.
All right.
You're good.
Well, fuck. I lost my train of thought
the
now.
whole,
It's crazy that a woman is having your child.
Yeah, dude.
make
It's honest to God. I mean, so I went to a Catholic school my entire life. That doesn't necessarily mean that I believe in God, whatever. But I went to a Catholic school my entire life.
You ruined my religion, by the way, my faith.
I'm not about to go into that, but not that I disagree with you. I'm just saying I don't even want to go into that. But however, I'm going to tell you something. When I saw my son in an ultrasound and I seen him, I mean, first of all, the first time I seen him, the first ultrasound, I got so emotional. I'm like, holy fuck, this is crazy. Like, this is real now. Then I saw the 20-week ultrasound, and I looked at him, and I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing the fucking spine fused together, and I'm like, how the fuck is this possible? Like, I'm there, and I'm looking at something, and I'm like, this is surreal. Right. Am I dreaming right now? Like, how is it that my sperm went into a fucking egg and it created this?
Yeah, right.
It is something, it's so surreal to grasp that it literally, at that moment, I'm not fucking with you guys. I literally thought for a second, I'm like, there has to be a higher power. There fucking has to be. Yeah. I'm just saying, I mean,
I'm with you.
Not that I'm not an atheist. All I'm saying is that this moment in my life, it literally has fucking opened my eyes again. And I mean, I'm not a born again Christian or nothing that.
Yeah.
But it really fucking opened my eyes into something that there is something that's inexplainable about this. And I believe it.
I almost want to like rebrand God to the way that people think about him today, or it, or whatever. Right? People want to say I'm spiritual. Look, no. You could be a realist and look at the world for what it is that's happening. What's happening in your girl's body that came out of you from the start is wild, unexplainable.
Insane.
So we can say, instead of calling him God, call him the ultimate truth, the thing that cannot be explained, but it's the ultimate truth because he calls himself the truth, the light, and the way. It is the way. It is enlightening.
A little conceited,
and he is the truth.
Well,
no.
You know what?
There's
every
ultimate
right to
truths.
You know
and
what?
Maybe is that.
Maybe he or it has every right to be. I don't know, but that shit.
No,
man,
but
it's crazy.
It is really crazy to think that a person makes another person.
It is, dude. One day, maybe one day you'll be there. Maybe you won't, but I hope you will. Just so that one day, I'm telling you, you'll see that shit, and you're gonna be like, bro.
I'm sure there's.
I believe. I agree with you. Everything that you said that one day on this podcast.
I believe that I don't even know that like feeling because there's that surreal.
You don't.
I know.
Yeah.
I already know. Yeah, I know that I don't know.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was going to talk about earlier. Is like, so how are you? So now that you are a type of person who like to have his fun. Always listen. This guy.
The worst.
This guy, I've been envious of his numbers.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, the fact that he settled down and now he's got a kid on the way, it's so out of left field.
Yeah.
It's if most people, everyone who really knows this guy, when they say he's having a kid, they're like, shut the fuck up. Because they know it's like such a crazy out of left field thing. Because me and him had a lot of talks that were like, we're never going to get married. We're probably not going to have kids. Like just all that whole thing. And so that's why I wanted to ask you was like, how are you feeling about it? Are you like no bullshit. Michelle's not going to watch this. No one's going to watch this.
Even if she did, I got you.
So how are you feeling about it? Are you like really optimistic about it? How are you feeling about like, do you feel confident about your abilities? Are you having any like doubts? Like, fuck, am I going to be a good father? Am I going to be able to provide? I know you're going to be able to provide financially because I know you're doing well. So it's a little. Let's speak on that.
Oh man, I mean, where do I begin? I mean, as far as obviously, man, when you first hear about, I mean, I'm 35, right? I'm not married. I'm not engaged. As you said, I've had my fair share of fun for quite some time. I've been dating my girl now for not even that long. I mean, maybe like 2 years tops now. Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, to answer that aspect of the question, of course, I was like, well, fun time's over. I mean, like, naturally, yeah, right. In some type of, but on the other end of that, no, dude. I mean, I think it's not that I'm forcing myself to just because I'm 35, like I'm forcing myself to put the gloves up in a sense, and say, oh, I'm done, like I'm too old to be messing around anymore. Honestly, I know it sounds insane or cliche to say, but I really have found a great counterpart in life, excuse me. And I couldn't ask for anybody else that I would want to even share a child with or whatever, but I love her and I'm happy to see this next chapter of my life. I'm just ready for it, man. I was doing the fun and all that shit for way too long. And I think at some point you get to a point where you're just like, it's just time to let it go.
Yeah, man. The truth is, it all boils down to like family and love and unity, right? Because at the end of your life, it's not all the fun you had. It's like who's around me. What are the things like your girl? One day, right? Because we're all gonna come to the end. She's gonna be like, I brought a child into this world. You're gonna do the same thing and be like, ultimately, because I feel like that's what we're called to do. It says to be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah.
But don't you think there's a certain level of experience you need to have in order to just say you did it? Because then you could focus on the new thing. For me, for instance, let's just say.
I think there's different personalities, and I think both of you guys are what's called extreme, or like vagabonds. Like you guys had to be extreme everything, go out there, get it crazy. But that's your guys' personality.
Sure.
I think there's other personalities that will be just as fine not to do that.
Yeah.
See, like for me, I feel like I don't know where it comes from, but I feel like I still haven't just experienced enough to be like, okay, now I've done all the fun.
See, I feel like I have. Sorry, but that's actually a great point, man. I feel like I have.
Right. I would agree that you probably have.
Yeah.
I feel like as I mature, I feel like more of like I have more options. It's like in high school, I feel like I wasn't the guy all the girls wanted. College years, it's still the same.
Bro, you always had a girlfriend.
That's true.
Why.
That's true. Early
this motherfucker always had a girlfriend. Sorry to put you on blast now, but it's true.
Right.
I didn't. I had maybe like 2 girlfriends in my. I mean, like
that's true.
College.
That's very
maybe.
true. That's very true. So I feel like I still not that like I need a slut stage. Because, whatever. Yeah. I've done my share, but like I feel like that little itch still hasn't been fully scratched. That's why I can't like fathom one person forever. It's like I still feel like I don't know if it's the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. I feel like at some point, at some level, all men still feel that way. Like, oh, I wonder what that would be like, or if I can get that. Maybe I don't know if it's a delusion or not, but
I think you just answered it right there. You literally just said, I didn't do that. So
Right,
like,
right.
So like you're still wanting that because
Right.
you didn't get that you didn't scratch that itch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think if you did, I don't think you'd be saying that right now, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because like
At this point, you think you can do that still?
I do. I still think that I'm at the age where I have a lot of options. I'm at a point in my life where I could have a lot of options, and I feel like that. Like I said, I don't know if it's a delusion or not, but like that thought of all those options is fucking enticing like a motherfucker, and it's like, because I'm in a relationship, and it's like. There's so many thoughts that I've been thinking, especially as of lately, and it's like I still feel like I'm that young man, and I know for a fact that if I ignore my thoughts and my gut instinct, that I will be an old man who's fucking regretted that shit. Who's like, motherfucker, you had the world by the balls when you were 34 and you didn't fucking take advantage. You're a fucking idiot. And that can mean a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to fuck every girl that I see. It's just there's a lot of experiences, a lot of things that I won't do or I wouldn't get because I'm in a relationship. You know, It's like I like the idea of spontaneous shit. And I'm the type of person who could talk to anyone at any time and have a whole, like, you could meet a person at a bar or whatever at the most, and it could totally change the trajectory of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I will miss that. What you just said right there, I will miss that more than anything. There's something about that first meeting of somebody and maybe going home with them, maybe not, whatever. Just actually meeting a girl, and just having that excitement and just getting to know someone for the first time ever. There's something to say about that. That's what I will miss, no doubt. I was just in Denver last weekend. Some fucking broad comes and actually hits on me, and I'm like, I'm flattered as fuck. Of course, did I toy with it a little bit? Yeah, sure. I didn't go home with her, nothing like that. I didn't do anything wrong, but still, I was like, your boy still got it. There's something to say about that too. Where I was like, hell yeah, I still got that shit.
100%.
But at the end of the day, what I'm getting to is. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I will miss, no doubt, for forever.
And like you said, I need to have more of those. I don't want to say one night stands. Maybe it's a few week or 1 month relationship with somebody. I need to have more of those so I know that's not what I want. Because right now it still seems like something that I'm cool with. So I feel like I haven't had enough of those. Like, oh fuck. Okay, I need to find like a cool one I settle down with. I don't feel like that. Like I need to settle down.
I will say there's something like I always told myself that I would live by, and it's like I'm not going to settle for nobody, right?
Right.
And I will say that this, as dumb as that may sound, but I'm telling you the truth. This is the first time ever, and when I'm in a relationship where I'm like, I am not settling, and there's something to say about that for myself that. I don't know. I was just always like, I'm settling. Maybe it was just me in a young age though too, being just a fucking young idiot. You know, not really maybe realizing what he had in front of him, whatever the case may be. But I just nowadays, currently, I know I'm not settling, and I'm just so comfortable in my own skin, especially with my significant other, that I'm the happiest part of myself.
Amen to that.
As we grow up, we have all these questions. And then you're asking these questions to yourself. And at some point, you eliminate every single question. You answer every question. And you don't have any more questions to ask. At that point, you're like, I'm ready now.
You're right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, you have to.
That is, dude, you said that so fucking perfectly, my man.
Exactly.
Thank you for that.
And that's my point. It's like, I haven't done I need to go through all the bad. I haven't done all the bad shit to know, like, oh, fuck. What's good is finding the right one and settling down. Like, that's the good thing. So, like, I feel like I'm not at that level yet. Anyway, do you want to wrap this shit up or what?
Yeah, it's time.
All right, man. Hey, I hope you guys liked this whole episode. Fucking likes, subscribe, share this shit. Don't be a fucking pussy.
Thanks to Adam for coming out.
Thanks to Adam. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Good vibes.
I was
energy.
privileged shooting the proverbial shit with you guys.
Yeah,
man.
right.
This was cool.
It was smooth.
Honestly.
It was easy.
This is what we want it to be. Just a little hangout.
I love it, man. I can't wait for it to happen again. Hopefully
yeah, come through
for sure.
As many times as you want.
We love you, man. Peace.
It was
awesome.